Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to On the Mic with the M.
Auntie.
Listen, y'all. Damn. First of all, Happy New Year to all y'all. And I want to congratulate and thank all of you guys for turning up our channel because right now, I just talked to T that we now over 3,000 subscribers and we've had over 500,000 views. And I want to thank y'all guys for, tuning into us. We've been dropping knowledge for a lot of years, and now finally it's being recognized and being eaten up. Thank you. We don't want to put crazy stuff out there. We want stuff that's going to help you be better people. So to see that you guys are joining us and eating it up, we thank you. We thank you immensely. So with that, we're going to jump in some other stuff, but I'm going to start this one off like this. People, can America be smart again? Can we be smart again? Can we go back to a point when people had common goddamn sense and critical goddamn thinking and stop being the bunch of morons that are walking around now calling themselves Americans and America and men and women? Y'all are acting like children and not even smart children, dumb kids. The kind you put in them little rooms that, keep away from all the normal people. See, like all of those kids are now running shit. And it's not a good thing. Yep, it's horrible. And I mean the shit we're gonna talk about today, really, we shouldn't even be talking about. It's common sense things, but it's gotten so bad. And mind you, we got the technology to do a whole lot of things. Put people on the earth, I mean on the moon, in Mars and everything else, but we can't even do the simple shit of even taking care of yourself, taking care of your family, and just common sense shit.
Like
Every,
like like using Google. For the stuff you don't know, you just Google it.
yes,
You
yes. I
that's
mean, god damn.
at
Come
least
on,
start
T.
there. Start there. That's kind of
Yes.
yeah.
It's crazy. And here's the first one. The first one we talked about, and this one, let me tell y'all, T was hot. T was mad when I told her about this one. And actually she even kind of mentioned about this is crazy. We even had this conversation. Now, if none of y'all know this, there's a bill in Mississippi, and it's called, let me read this for you. The
Oh, you got
conception,
oh
I'm
you got
starting
it.
with that one first, and then we'll go to the next one that we just talked about. So this one's conception begins an erection act in Mississippi. Yes, conception begins at erection act. It's from the state of Mississippi. Read it to you so you can hear it. They want to make it unlawful for men to masturbate without the intent to fertilize the embryo. So no more lotion, no more socks, no more
Did
showers.
he say that? Are you sure?
Okay, I've added that little bit of lotion and sock showers to the equation, but he did say you should not masturbate unless you're gonna fertilize the embryo. If you are convicted of violating this law, the financial penalties are such that will be imposed. The first penalty is $1,000. The second penalty is $5,000. The third penalty is $10,000.
Yep.
And there's only two exceptions. If you're going to a sperm bank, or if you're about in the middle of doing a nasty, and that happens. But that's the only two exceptions you have.
That's so hilarious. I thought I recalled one exception being if you were like in this the act of, and you're under the idea that there's birth control being taken. So when I read it, I one of the phrases I recalled was geez, I should have just read it. Like giving off your biological, reproductive goods, basically, dispelling them. So, in other words, you just can't shoot up the club and not have the intent to procreate. Like, if you shot up the club, they're defining the idea that you intended on conceiving a child. Like,
Yep.
the idea that you went up in the club meant that you intended on having a child unless you had a conversation with this woman, and clearly you're going to have to prove it, that she told you that she was using, some form of birth control,
Mm-hmm.
with the exception. And listen, how many men, okay, like real live, come running to you talking about the girl got pregnant, and she told him she was on birth control. Like, she told me she was on birth control. You're like, wow. Now this is getting interesting. So the crazier part is, you know, I'm selfish, Let's just we all have our own, self intent for things, right? So why it offended me so deeply is because I'm like, if they're going to control the man on such level, what level is the intent to control the woman? Like, to me,
See,
that will be just the beginning.
Key, you have hit the nail on the head. Because and the guy who started this whole thing said that because of the rollback on Roe versus Wade and all the other things they're doing to women's bodies, and you don't have any control of your bodies, basically putting all the onus on the women. He said, okay, damn that, let's put it on the men because it takes two to tank. Women can't have a baby without a man, man can't have a baby without a woman. So let's stop putting it all on the women that they have to be the ones to foot the whole bill of stuff. Let's put it on the men. So now, since you were going to shoot up the club, you're going to pay the price for shooting up the club. Now,
Or
mind you, I'm gonna step back real quick. Since he put that out, he's had all kinds of death threats. All kinds of people want to kill him. They want, what are you talking about? Because now it's showing the light on making men responsible for their actions, and
or
that's what he's trying to say.
both. Let's just be real.
Yep,
You're doing both the sexes. At some point, we're gonna have to unite, y'all. Like, we can't hate each other forever.
that's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
they gonna
I
screw
mean,
us both. Wow.
that
Gonna
is
take away your birth
crazy.
control right. And then anytime, you're ready, you better be willing to have a child when you're ready, sir. That's an interesting concept.
Hey, and again, this goes back to like I said about becoming adults, being smart. We've never in the history of history ever had a conversation about when and how people should have sex or controlling people's bodies, which okay. Then we do have some situations, a lot of situations where people control bodies, i.e. slavery, those kind of things. But just in general population, I've never heard of anyone really dictating people's natural urges. You know what I mean? It's like if you decide to do that, it's crazy.
It's like religious based. Like, some religions frown down upon masturbation type of thing. So it's a little bit just conservative, I guess, right? Like,
Hmm.
um a little tight of
Yes.
the walk of your life. You just looking for it to be a little more tighter. And we weren't raised in
No. No.
I say you know, I say we didn't come up in that type of lifestyle. That's something that you have to be taught. And then also something that you have to also see. So if the only thing that you feed us in media, the generation before us, is a certain lifestyle, and then, cold turkey, y'all done, tighten it up. We don't know how. I'm sorry. Give that man $1,000. Give him $5,000. Shit, on the $10,000.
And how do you collect the shit, T? My thing is, what's to do? Who's gonna tell? Who's gonna dictate? Try to dictate. I hate
Oh,
that.
this is like,
How you gonna dictate how you can collect the money? I saw you in the car. I see you over there.
oh,
You're handling your business.
this sounds like paternity situations. So now when you go to the court and you don't want to claim that child that belongs to you, in addition to this whole paternity child support situation you're going to have floating in the court, you're also going to have a fine and penalty, because clearly if that's your child, you was out there shooting up the club without the intention of making a baby, and that's against the law. That's how I interpret it. And if
See, that's
you did it,
crazy.
yeah, so you did it with one baby mother. Oh, okay. Do it again with the second one. That's $5,000. Try it again with the third one. That's 10 grand. So it's sort of like a deterrent from you just sowing your seed all around carelessly and acting like you didn't when you know you did, right? It's just like
Yeah.
who can't get the abortion now, right? What? You lay down. As soon as you spread your legs, you was like, huh? You know, I'm not on birth control. So if it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. No, you're not getting no abortions. And they barely try, they trying to regulate birth control. So
And you see all that, right? You see, they already tell you certain states you can't basically you race red states basically say you're gonna keep this baby no matter what. And they said no exceptions. I don't care if it's rape, incest, what, you're gonna keep the baby. Now, mind you, they ain't gonna take care of the baby when they get here, because that's the other thing. They ain't putting any more wicks or any kind of things to help the mothers when they do bring these babies on board. But you're gonna keep them, goddamn it, because you can't be killing babies. But when you get them here, you're gonna kill them slowly by not feeding them and taking care of them health wise. So, which is fucking stupid to me. But on the flip side of that, it's like you got the guys now saying, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa! You're now dictating that I can't even relieve myself without paying a penalty. That's crazy. That's crazy as hell."
without the intent. So if you intentionally want these children, you good. You claiming them in court. Hey, she only coming here for child support. You know that's your kid. You say you wanted it. Hey, you ain't got no fee, no fine. You just got your little dues to pay to the lady who's assisting in the co-parenting. You know, this is for the, you know, hit and run type. You
Yep. And again, we know quite a few of them. We know a lot of people who
yeah,
hit and quit.
pretending we hunting you down to take a DNA test, subpoenaing you. You at your mother house, you at your auntie house, then you out of state. They're like, no, no more. The women gonna tighten up. We're gonna tighten up these men same time because truth of the matter is, you know, when you both lay down, it truly is, and it's a gamble. And the argument that once the baby is inside of the woman, it's now her right to control what's happening. It's getting too intense. So we're gonna make everybody accountable. Nah,
Yeah.
down, once y'all both lay down, yeah. It's just the very idea of giving child support during pregnancy. Like you're
Yeah.
all the way accountable, both of y'all, for the situation. Both of y'all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I ain't even gonna talk about the people lifestyle, but okay.
But you're
About
right. You're absolutely right. Because a lot of people, these kids, because ultimately, I, I don't agree. I'll agree with that bullshit in general, because nobody should be able to tell anybody what to do with their bodies. How many times they want to shoot the club, how many times the club gets shot up. That goes back to responsibility, personal responsibility. And that goes for both. Because again, if you're a man, you know you sleep with a woman, you know it's a possibility that that's going to happen. So you should, as a man, protect your. Let me look at this camera when I say this. Men, protect your goddamn self from getting caught in that situation.
Mhm.
Don't believe, oh, I'm protected. I take the pills. I got the diaphragm. I got all that stuff.
Condom
No.
is also a form of birth control.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Let's talk
yes,
about that part. So the man can come into the room with his own form of birth control, also, like, cover it up. Like, it's the easiest, has no hormones and, it's not sitting up in your body, don't got to build up. No. Mhm.
that's so true. So guys, get a condom. Get a condom. I don't give a damn. And they'll think I can be, oh, I don't like how I feel. Okay. I'd rather spend about, I don't know how much condoms is, I don't use them. But if they're $10 a pack, I'd rather spend $10, $15 a pack than to spend about $350,000 over an 18-year period for a situation that you could have handled back then. But now
Girl,
you,
don't give that number to the rest of America. That was your child that cost that amount of money. And you having fancy. No, we are not all spending that much money on these children. Absolutely not.
oh,
Absolutely. Private schools, private colleges. No.
Okay. Maybe I did throw some personal stuff into this particular mix. I may have done that. So let's just say it's gonna probably cost you over $100,000
Yeah.
from 0 to 18. So, but if you don't want to spend that kind of money, you can avoid that particular situation. But we'll have this discussion, T, like we're talking to immature kids. Like if you play this game, this could happen. They're grown ass men and women. Why the hell you gotta pass a law to tell people to not uh get it get in this game because you could get caught? It's like putting your hand on a hot ass stove. You put your hand on there one time, you won't put it on there again. That should be that simple. Not writing a goddamn law about it. That's crazy.
Yeah, but the laws reflect the people, I guess, at the times.
Oh
Like
my God.
that's
We
what's
we have gone bad. We've gone this way quickly. And we're talking, this is like something you would hear in the 30s. Like, oh, they don't know no better. They're not that educated. They'll figure that shit out. And you're like, okay, we can't have y'all doing this because, you got kids. We're in 2025. We're having this kind of damn discussion about kids. And mind you, we know people. I know personally, my great grandmama had a lot of kids. And
yeah.
they fed all of them. But
And
this not 1932 anymore.
you
This is
said she was.
2025. She had a grandkid. Grandmama had about 23 kids.
Mhm.
So and she raised all of them. But
Absolutely.
again, you couldn't. Can you imagine somebody having 23 kids in today's society? You don't lost your goddamn mind.
No, I mean, that's a large age range. I mean, you're full-time parenting for like 40 years. That's a lot. I mean, and what kind of car you have? The kids got to have extra cars to assist you with the kids. What type of lifestyle is this? My mother better be retired with all those kids, because I'm gonna need some help, and I want to be compensated with all those children bothering her. And she
Hello.
off. No, you can't have them in this day and age. Grandmothers is not the same grandparents that they used to be. They are fancy and on there. Like they're just out and doing it now.
Yeah. Can you imagine? Can you watch my kid? Bitch, I gotta go out. I got a party to go to tonight. Watch your kid. I catch me between this time and that time. But anything after that, I'm out in the streets. That's
Yeah.
right. That's today's grandparents.
And the streets for them is like their church group outing. They out to their luncheons with their girlfriends. They in their little exercise class, and then they going out to lunch. No, 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 mom. You ain't got a life like that. Nah, mom got life. Mama got life too. They busy. They very active, and they should be.
Yeah, because again, they live their lives, and again, they deserve to enjoy their life and enjoy all the fruits of their labor. They raise their kids, they want to be able to enjoy it. And that's why stop thinking that grandparents owe you. When you have them goddamn kids, the grandparents don't fucking owe you. They choose to. Now, again, they may choose to watch your kids, but they don't have to watch your goddamn kids. They are your kids. Goddamn it. They watch your ass. So they don't gotta watch your kids. So don't I hear people, well, I got my grandma. Why the fuck your grandma got involved with this shit? Why your mama gotta be involved with this shit? Why your great grandmama gotta be involved with this shit? You the one the fuck that had them. You gotta take care, work your life out so you can take care of them goddamn kids. The fuck you bringing all the older generation to your shit for?
They like it. That's why I'm dropping them off tonight. How about that?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Still, that help. But it's also a bonding situation. So, if you have it available, it's just don't abuse it, right?
Yes.
And it's a school night for us. So I'm not actually dropping the kids off tonight.
But dad's going tomorrow.
No, they are.
See, see? Hey, oh my God. And so, girl, I gotta go to the next conversation. Oh boy, child support. Mm, mm, mm.
No,
I
we
heard it's
want to talk. I mean, this is, it's too hot of a topic right now. Oh my, what about child support? Come on. Come on.
now. I heard a guy on IG recently and said that all child support should be put on a card and monitored by the fathers, because they're tired of these women going to get weaves and buying BBLs, of course, exaggeration, doing all this stuff other than taking care of the kids. So if we put all child support on a card and allow the parent who's paying it to see what the money being spent on, that should happen.
Right, right, right. Listen to this, right?
Hmm.
Outside of a financial card, there's something that we call a report card. Okay. If
Okay.
you just don't even look at the report card, how you going to look at some report on how I spent some funds on this child? You don't know. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Your option is to run your own household and not mine. That's a crazy and first of all, the money that you're sending is not, ain't nobody even sending me no money. That's number one. But I can guarantee you, when you're raising children, it's never enough.
Mm-hmm.
It's never. I need money from the spouse. I need money from maternal grandparents, not one but both of them, mom and dad. No, the kids, soccer dues, cleats, they extravagant trips, whatever. No, and paternal grandma and grandpa.
Mm-hmm.
No, there's never enough money. And then you want me to tell you where the money went in his mouth and he shot it out down the toilet. That's where the money went. Like, what? Them lights, that's where the money went. Sitting there with all them damn devices plugged into the wall. Well, I have one device, my phone. Your kids operating three-fourths of this whole house, and you talking about where your money went. To that refrigerator with the prices of eggs at $8 and $12 and $20 in the grocery store. What? It be the audacity for me. You're doing the least. The
Yeah.
least. I'm providing the service and you're not giving a tip. No tipping here. It's not like the daycare center where, holidays, you go in there, give the daycare provider a little something extra, teachers a little something extra, because you understand the people who are dealing with your children, even though they're your children, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, I got to give a little extra. I got to give a little because they're kids and they come with all different emotions that you have to cater to. Your ass ain't catered to not near, not an emotion. Because if you did, you wouldn't be asking for that.
And
You
you know what, T, you're absolutely correct because I think it goes back to something we said before. A lot of guys, well, it's quite a few guys gonna watch this and feel a certain way. It's a lot of guys who think once the relationship is over, which means he's, not part of your life like that anymore. You're not sexually active with him anymore. That now it's like, damn, well, what's she actually doing? I can't get the goodies no more. So, I need to know what she's spending money on. Ain't she spending on some other dude or she's spending on something unnecessary? Because again, he's out of your picture. He's out of your life per se. Other than the kid, you had nothing to really do with him. A lot of guys feel a certain way about that. It's like, damn, In fact, I know a guy sent me something. He said, "Man, went through a divorce, and she said I'm accustomed to a certain lifestyle." And what he told me, he said, bruh, I'm accustomed to getting that pussy too. I can't get it no more. So why
yeah,
the hell I'm accustomed to that. We both accustomed to certain things. So if I able to pay her X amount of dollars, I should be able to come over there and drop my load off on anytime I feel like it.
I
And
love
I
it.
responded back to him. I said, I feel you. I hear you. But that shit ain't gonna work.
Yeah, it's respectable. I can understand that.
Yes. But this is part of the game when it doesn't work out. When the game you get into a game together and the game don't work out, this is what happens when you have to separate. You just can't go over there and say, damn, I used to knock. And we get pissed off because now as I always said, we think of you as property. I hate to say that, but we think of your woman as your property. And when that woman goes somewhere else and with somebody else's property now in his mind, damn, shit, he got her. Now, mind you, you don't think about what he did to fuck it up. If
Right,
he is the one to fuck it up, but he
right.
think about like, I can't believe she went this month. What this motherfucker doing? I ain't doing. Well, obviously doing a lot better or doing something that she likes that she ain't like with your ass. But we can't get over that. It's like one of those internal hurts that we just kind of have. Men
So
won't talk about it, but we have it right there.
it's very comforting that you say that out loud. So it makes me think that you all are in the know, right? And that yeah, that's just how y'all move. So like if we can understand that, then we can kind of move a little bit different. So thank you for that, because the men be moving off that bullshit. Like let's just be real here. Let's just be real. You done did this, that, and the fourth to old girl, and you still like, what's wrong?
Yes.
What's wrong? Really? You didn't want to move on? You're still trying to access her for your $600 a month? Stop playing with me. Absolutely not. Absolutely. And in your mind, you have, rationalized that this makes sense. I am still entitled to this situation. Not like an alimony. Did these just be the men with, just a regular child support payment?
Yes.
Nah,
Yes.
I should be able to access her body whenever I want. I'm still supporting her.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thought process. When you send
Yep.
the money, you're sending it to her.
Absolutely. Yep.
Fine. The money
Yes.
go for her. It's just like when you take your kids to daycare and then you pay the daycare provider and you act like you're paying the teacher inside the room. You're paying the censor. You're not paying the individual person here.
Nope.
Please.
Nope.
But okay, so that's what they call that, like man math, male math, boy math. Yeah.
Yeah, it's man math. Like it's almost like we gotta get something out of this deal. It's like giving money and getting nothing in return.
Mm-hmm.
It's like constant. You know what's like? It's like playing lottery. Then you know fucking well you're not gonna win every day. You just hope to win. So in
Right.
this case, you're paying a lottery for 18 years and you're never gonna win. You
So
just
we
keep
work.
constantly paying money.
So that's weird you say that, right? Because you do win, right? And you win when you show up to the kindergarten assembly and your kids are there and they're all out of tune and for no reason at all, you might drop a little tear, oh my goodness, that's my boy, he up there crying, but me too, you
Yep.
know. That's when you win. When you send your kids off, and they graduate from what, middle school and go to high school, they really win. When you get to show up for those basketball games and football games and soccer games, there's your win. Hey, some of y'all kids gonna make it all the way to the top, you walking them out on pro sports contracts and you know graduating from top colleges and universities, rappers and entertainers behind the scenes and traveling with celebrities. And I mean, these kids grow up and do great things. So
Hmm.
the idea that like your 18 years just going to go down the drain, that's because you let it down the drain, right?
No, you said say that again. Say that
Yeah.
again.
Or
For
you
the
let the situation right down the drain. If your kid grow up and ain't doing much, that's probably because you ain't do much with them, or they don't want
hello.
much with you.
Oh,
Don't come to my college. I don't want dad here at the college. I don't want mom here at the college. Yeah, because mom, you ain't did shit. Dad, you ain't do shit. So when you don't sow into those children, because we always talk shit about the man, but sometimes it be the women. But when you don't sow into those kids, and you thinking that it does, there's no win here. When those wins start trickling in, that's when it hit.
there you go. You're absolutely right. And really, that goes back to a word I've been using quite a bit with a lot of people, emotional intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
Men need to grasp emotional intelligence because if you do grasp that, you understand that, okay, it's a situation, it didn't work out. You have to take yourself outside yourself for a second and say, okay, who's gonna lose if I don't interact with her and don't help her? My baby. She going Women gonna survive. Women gonna survive no matter what. But who's gonna suffer is you. The other part of you. Because no matter what, they keep going, it's her baby. No, it's your baby too. It's part of you. And the one thing you don't want to have happen, and I told you I saw it at my son's college graduation when the kids who graduated with him cried. Not because they were happy about graduation, crying because I got to go back home and I hate my parents.
Mm. Yeah.
Crying. I'm gonna stay with a this one guy said, I'm gonna stay with my friend until I'm gonna unpack all my stuff up in storage and I'm gonna stay with my friend until I can find a job. I'm never going back home.
Mm.
And I was like, oh my God. And
Mm.
I heard kids say this. And these are kids 20 some years old, graduating. Should be the parents should be there and be proud of the kid going to school and graduating. Not just going, but actually graduating. But to hear that kid say, fuck that, I don't want to see him no more.
Mm.
I didn't tell him I was graduating. I don't
Yeah.
even go back. When I left that house to come to college, I never went back in 4 years, and I paid for my own school and all that. And
They had
that's
to.
yeah, it's sad. It's like so, and that parent's like, damn, I got a kid that's doing this, but you have no connection with them because for somehow you did something fucked up that disconnect you from that kid, and now that kid's gonna grow up, have a family, gonna do some great shit, and they'll never talk about you, or you'll be a statistic, kind of like a bad dream that they have to tell their kid about because you did come from somewhere, and the kid's going to ask, "What about grandma and grandpa?" And you got to tell them that story. You're going to tell them basically age appropriate, but at some point you're going to tell them the truth, and you're not a part of their life. And I saw something recently on news that there's a huge thing about parents, kids who don't want to have any relationship with their parents at all.
Oh, are you talking about the parents who are giving their teenagers up for adoption, or no, turning them over to the state, like voluntary?
Yes,
That was in the state of Virginia. They were having an overwhelming amount of teenagers because they were out of control, so to speak. Um, and you know that set our men off because they can't voluntarily turn them kids over to the state and then get out of child support. But the mothers can voluntarily turn the kids over to the state and wash their hands with no repercussions.
and that's crazy. And
Yeah.
it's sad too, T, because you saw they had like it's almost like a fashion show for the kids. Kids come out there and they're like, "Hi, I'm 13 years old and I got I got this skill set and that skill set," and the kids' parents out there like this, like, on a 1 to 10, they're 5. I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, these are different stories. I know what you're talking about also. That was like an adoption agency, and they were showing how they showcase the children almost like you showcase clothing on the runway. Yeah, that was cray. That
So again, we're looking at this is the craziest people we're talking about. We're not talking about like, oh, we're just making up off the top of our head. This is shit that's actually happening.
but
People turn their kids in.
look at the two extremes. You have families who are desperate to have children, and then you have families who are just desperate with children. It's just it's a little extreme.
It is. It really is. And you got people just all over the place. But more importantly, you got the kids all over the place. The kids aren't stable. The kids aren't don't know who their parents are, or stability. So now these kids age out the system. When you're talking about, the foster care system, they age out. But they
Hmm.
age to nothing because they don't have a family.
Yeah.
By the time they age out, they're out in the street. A lot of homeless kids are a lot of the kids who are homeless had to be foster care kids. So that means you let them down when they were kids, and you let them down now as young adults. And pretty soon these young adults gonna do some fuck shit or get caught up in some fuck shit that's gonna destroy their lives. And what we're gonna do, blame them for their lives. Oh, I can't believe you lived that way. Well, if you were raised like a damn puppy to fend for yourself, what the hell you think gonna end up with this kid if he has no guidance, no instructions, no uh nobody sacrificing for them or loving them. So now
Hmm.
these kids out there finding love in all the wrong goddamn places, and you end up with what we're seeing out here. All these kids out here doing crazy shit, and you're wondering why? Because it starts off with the parents or the lack of parenting is why we end up with these situations. And it's crazy to me. And it's just like this one lady, which I want to talk about because this one was really got you hot. They said women should just give their kids up. They should just say, give it to the men because if you can't raise them, give them to the men. Let the men raise them properly because y'all know what the hell y'all doing.
I need like a cue card because I wasn't even ready for that piece.
Oh, I
Like,
know.
it took my breath away.
I know. I had to give it to you. I like
Oh,
hit you with the boom, and
yeah.
that's what she said. She was like, nope. You should
What
give
she
it to the men.
again? What she say?
She said that women, these women who are raising kids and can't raise them, you just give them to the fathers.
Hmm.
Because y'all are doing a horrible job raising them, y'all raise them properly. Look at all the. Then she went statistically. She's like, single mamas are the worst mamas because their kids are more likely to be on drugs, get pregnant early, drop out of school, be involved in drugs and gangs and stuff. She said, so obviously single mamas doing a horrible job raising the kids. So you just go ahead and give them to the dads. And because all they're doing is get collecting money, they're not really raising the kids.
Yeah. So in other words, the woman only wants to keep the child for like a monetary benefit, like some sort of a state benefit, whether it be like food stamps, housing assistance, um, you know, healthcare, whatever type of assistance that perhaps a woman can get if she has children. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, that's true somewhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely true somewhere. Some young girls, that's all they know, right? You should have a child, get on public assistance, just like how your mother is. Your mom can kind of walk you through the situation. Um, I can't really speak on that, but I say it's minute from what because I don't know any.
See, that's the thing. You don't know any people, any women in your area, but you know what, T? You wouldn't know them. You know why? Because they don't gravitate towards you. It's like law of attraction. You wouldn't attract those type of women.
Would have heard about them at least in somebody's circle. It gets seedy. You know, I know people all over. All walks of life, all walks of life. I would have heard about it. Would have heard about it at this point. I just feel like I would have heard about. I know more women who have picked up the phone, swallowed their damn pride, and say, "Yeah, mm, when can we arrange your children to come live with you because I can't do it anymore."
See, but that's a woman who understands herself, who's grown enough to understand that I have a limit. And I applaud women like that. I applaud any person that can say, I don't have it at this point for whatever reason, whether it's mental, physical, whatever,
Or
and I need help.
some is just because I'm not their father, and the child is deserves. I had a dad. Why wouldn't my kids want what I? My dad is called Super Dad. You know how you gonna just be like, oh, my kids don't need that in their life? No,
Yes.
but the other side to that, I think, is the woman's role is to nurture the child, right? It's what we're designed for, right? When we
Mm-hmm.
talk about what you're biologically created for, it's more than to just carry the child. So in your own like divinity, right? You feel like I was attached to that for 9 months. So that's when people say, no, I carried her for 9 months. You're not going to take it's not that you're not going to take my baby, but it's that my first instinct is to protect my child. And it's not to say to protect my child from you, but just to protect my child in the expectations that the man protects the household, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm handling what's going on within the household. So your
Mm-hmm.
is very broad, whereas mine looks over the child on a day-to-day basis. And I'm pretty much just asking you to pour into the family like how you technically normally would. Because let's let's be real. How much parenting, how much hands-on parenting did my father do in real life? You kind of get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, that's
he,
true.
he's live-in dad. My father's never taken no breaks from home. Okay. Every morning
Mm-hmm.
I wake up, I'm out. He ain't washing no clothes though. He ain't making sure you brush your teeth at night. He's not doing all of those nurturing things that the woman sows into her child and leads her child to understand the life, right? Now
Mm-hmm.
always comes back in and he interjects and he puts in very solid, bold pieces that also help to grow and mold you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Day to day, that very close eye, that meticulous eye that women have, that you keep over a child, like, oh no, nah, my kid is acting different. They don't like something.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get into this. The husband would never know
No, he wouldn't.
because
He wouldn't.
he's just not as in tune. And it's not to say, he can't, he's not ignoring the kids, but men come home and I think sometimes they want to turn their brain off. Like how when a woman goes out with a man, she goes out and she would like to turn her brain off because, she's with the man. She feels like she's in the comfort and security of her man. And he got the world now, right? Because we're out and about. And so when most men come inside the house, you know, they kind of want to turn their brains off to the, all the dealings that's going on inside of a household. Now, if you've always shown me that when it comes to the kids, you're a little laid back, your brain's always off, you're not in front of stuff, you're sitting there acting like you don't know that the kids need lunch money, weird stuff like that. And then you say, nah, send the kids to him. What? What?
Yeah.
Because I haven't established a level of trust that you in my head. I'm not saying that you're not capable. I'm saying that in my there are women who don't even want to drop their children off to their own mothers because in their head, you know, I don't trust her like that yet. She
Yep.
hasn't proven herself yet. Even though she has raised you and you have made it, you're talking about some she ain't proved herself yet, or you're showing that she hasn't proven herself yet. But it's a complex, right? And
Yep.
if you're sitting there bullying the woman, shit talking the woman, you know, um, flip flopping on arrangements with the woman, and then it's like I'm financially strapped or I can't do it all by myself, and you're like, just send them over here, I do it, I got it. Don't trust that situation, and then why would you want to cut me out of something?
Absolutely. And that's the thing. If a woman, and I always said this, that if a woman has to live with well, if a kid has to live with the father and got taken away from the mother,
Hmm.
that's unheard of. Like, what the hell kind of hellspawn was she that you had to pull the baby from her to him? Because most guys, they're going to take that shit, they're gonna raise the kid, but they're not gonna give it the whole nurturing like you just explained to the kid. Because you're like, we're pretty much gonna be like, you know what you need to do it so you won't make any more complication in my life. Because I got to keep the bills going, I got to keep you fed and all that stuff. But yeah, for a woman for a kid to get pulled for a woman is like, God damn.
Our the approach to raising the children are like the yin and yang, right? I give mine, you give yours, and they balance out that child. So
Hmm.
not to say that man's not needed, um, but it's just really hard for a woman to just say, no, I'm gonna send the kids off to live with the dad, especially when the dad has not um proven themselves to the woman. And that's not to say that he should have to prove himself, but it's just to say to understand, you know, the psyche. Like I'm uncomfortable leaving my children, with my sister. Just not because my sister's incompetent, but because my thought process just isn't there and I'm gonna need some help getting over these things. So it's more than just, the woman I had the baby, I carried the child for 9 months. It's my baby. No, you're not helping her get over this mental complex, which can be an overload, especially for a woman who just had one child, who's, it's their first child type of thing. If there's no one there in their ear talking to them, reminding them, girl, ain't nobody trying to take your baby. He giving you a break. Girl, ain't nobody trying to take your baby. That woman going that man mother going to love on that baby the same way I'm going to love on that baby. That's what the grandmother's supposed to weigh in and say, and to help, bring you up off of that wall. Because even the men don't even want to take the baby from you. They just want to take the baby for the weekend. And you sitting there, no, you can't take the baby for the weekend. No, you can't take the baby to your mother's house. That man live with you. That man will live with you. He could be your husband. And he talking about he want to take the baby to his mother house. And no, you're not. Not without me. Because she don't trust it yet. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? So
that's
some
true.
we gotta help work on each other.
Yeah, and I think that it
Right?
goes back to goddamn T growing the fuck up, becoming adult, true adults, not just age wise, which you should be, but it's in your head. Because a lot of people grow up physically. We know people who are 40 years old and 15 years old in their brain because they never grow up for whatever reason. So it's like once you get that kind of responsibility, it's not like a dog or a cat. You can take them to drop them off at some place and somehow take care of them. You're stuck with this kid unless you give them up. But if you're a parent, your duty is to make sure that you guys treat each other in such a way that you both are simultaneously understand each other's feelings and what pros and cons of each other when it comes to dealing with the kid is, and working it out. The part of it is you have to, and you don't have to work it out for 18 years. Because
Mhm.
after 18 years, the kid go to school, whatever, and then that kid has a choice to who he wants to stay with or not stay with. So
Nope.
then, but at least at that point, damn, can you at least from 0 to 18 be on the same page, relatively on the same page?
At 18, that's the other thing. Y'all have to be careful to like raise these children and to dislike their dads because technically, especially the boys, and I know how y'all always be talking about, oh, the men need to teach the kids how to be men, and I don't give a damn about none of that right now. I'm gonna tell you what's the truth. Okay, they eat too much. So boys turn 18, they eat too damn much. They eat you out of house and home. Like you better save that relationship with that man and his mama because you gonna need somewhere to send them grown men. Them they turn into men so fast. These young boys turn into men over. Like I said, I'm dropping mines off. Not because I need a break. My refrigerator needs a break. You understand me? My refrigerator needs a break. Like, jeez, jeez. But we forget little breaks like that count, you know,
Yeah.
little breaks like and the kids appreciate the breaks in life. So with the selfish behaviors that we have, you have to remember how it felt to go to a aunt's house and have cousins over there. Because maybe you, the mom, don't have a sister who has children, your children's age. But if he goes
Yeah.
over to dad's house, dad's going to mom's house, and that's grandma's house, right? Grandma's house over
Hmm.
there, kids. That grandma got all the kids on that side. So, that's life now. You
That's
can't
true.
don't don't block that from your children. They deserve that. That's crazy. Like a good childhood. No. Mm-mm. It's sweeter than the memories of a good childhood.
Yes, because again, the kids are losing that, and they're losing it on multiple fronts. Not just the parents and stuff, but society is ruining their childhood.
Yes.
It's like I saw something today. It was like, when do kids go outside and play anymore? And most people say, well, they run, grab their phones, run to the computer, and then they do their homework, and then they're on the computer again. But running outside, I don't have that issue. For us growing up, your ass had to be outside.
He
You're
wasn't
outside.
uh, you wasn't allowed to stay inside the house. But what you doing in here? You better go outside and play. You better go outside and play. Because you
Yes.
wasn't actually allowed to watch TV that much.
No, at all.
Was a serious no, you had to have all your homework done. You probably got like an hour or two,
Yeah.
depending on the mom you had. If it's a good mom, shout out.
To your good mama. Yep, exactly. But that's the thing that's missing. I mean, these kids are they're not out there co-mingling with their friends and waiting till the light go on and off to come run your ass back to the house. All that's missing. And these kids it's like these kids are getting pressure that we've never seen a generation have before. These kids are getting pressure. I mean, 5, 6 years old worrying about their skin. Wait, little girls worrying about their skin, how their skin look. At 5 and 16,
It's what did she say? Kids skincare. I say, yeah, that's called soap and cocoa butter.
hello.
Yeah, 9. Kids skincare. Absolutely not. I'm not entertaining that. Mom, can we go to Sephora? No, we cannot. Just so we're
Already?
no, we cannot. Yeah. Yeah. I have my own money. No, you have my money. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Can I spend the money Mr. Malcolm sent me? Yeah. That's good. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely not there. How about that? Not there. We're not You're right. The society, you wasn't expecting that one.
Oh, what? Oh Lord.
That's
Oh,
they know, um they got funds and they move different nowadays. They want to sit in their rooms and buy up the skins and avatars or whatever it is that's on those video games that they're playing on those group chats. So they're not going outside, you know, and you're not pressing them to go outside. Like just like we said, your mother told you to do that. And so everybody's mother in the neighborhood told them to go outside and play. And so that's why y'all all had to meet up. And that was whether you all got along or you didn't get along. You still, everybody went outside and met up.
Absolutely.
But I think there perhaps is a little fear factor that exists that if we start sending our kids out to play a little bit more, um, we would perhaps see that kind of diminish. And the other side to that is it's nothing wrong with us going outside with the kids, um,
Hmm.
just being in the vicinity out there and grabbing up a little dose of vitamin D. Um, because if we are concerned about the safety of our children and at the same time we're concerned about our own physical health, I think boom, boom. That's we got them both.
Exactly. Exactly, T. And that's the thing. And especially dealing with physical health,
Hmm.
because again, we're seeing kids bigger than they ever been, women, girls developing faster, boys, and it's just crazy that the way we used to eat was different. Everything now is fast. Everything now is quick. Lunchables, all that kind of stuff. We never had Lunchables growing up. Everything was cooked. Everything. If we did eat at school, we're gonna get a cookie and maybe some milk. But all
Yeah.
the other shit is gonna come from home. But now these kids are like everybody don't have time to cook. Everybody got time to fix this. So these kids eat all this stuff and they may go outside and play. They may not. But it morphs itself into another issue that we're gonna talk to you about. I know you heard about the young lady who tried to take an Uber ride. It was so obese that the driver said,
Stop
you
playing with
can't.
me.
God,
Topic,
no.
okay? He said no. Okay. He said his tires could not do it. His tires, I would have snatched his ass up out of there. What? Your tires, what? No, you're gonna have me on the salt. Because I already know she could have handled him. No, absolutely not.
Let's see, T. Yeah,
Oh,
this goes back to a question I want to ask you.
mm-hmm.
Was he wrong in saying that or not picking her up because
Was
she was so big? Was he
that?
wrong?
Yes. Yes. And sometimes you have to lie.
Okay.
Like that's to me, that's just the right answer. Like, why? What? He should have said, "Oh no, I have an emergency. I have to cancel this Uber. I'm so sorry," and pulled off. I have an emergency. You didn't have to tell a big lie. You didn't have to give a whole lot of details. But the very like that's total discrimination. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I'm slim. So I'm not like trying to advocate for any group, but it's just like once we just start discriminating against one group and making that okay, then you get the trickle down effect. Then it'd be okay to discriminate against who you ever choose to discriminate against. And if Uber had a standard to protect drivers, because just being real, just being honest, people of excessive weight sizes give a little more wear and tear on items, um, separate than the average size person,
Mm-hmm.
right? Let's just be honest, okay?
True.
And if Uber created a standard, policy, a protocol, whatever you want to call it, that states, um, this type of vehicle, right? Because again, I think it was a type of vehicle that came to pick her up. I think it was a smaller car, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and it perhaps was low to the ground. So he already knew that his car once. I had a car before. Once three people sit in the back, it started dragging in the back. I get it. Like what? He was like, "Yeah, I ain't gonna be able to Uber no more. This is and Uber don't pay for the repairs." But Uber also didn't really protect their driver perhaps from situations like that because small compact cars maybe shouldn't have a passenger over a certain amount of weight. Maybe you need an Uber XL, and she would know to accommodate her size that she should have to order herself an Uber XL. You don't you have to play in that girl face like that though. You should have just out. I'm so sorry. Ma'am, I'm so what? No, get your ass. No, open up the door now, because I would have dragged him up out of here. What? Um,
And see, I'm gonna be, I'm gonna be the devil's advocate, and I hear you, and I agree
I know
with
you
you.
are. I'm ready.
I got you. So on the flip side of that is, and I'm gonna look at it from her aspect. From her aspect, if you know you damn near 600 pounds, you know goddamn well you should order a small car. First of all, it's not gonna be comfortable for you. You should get a big a X, a XL, triple X to get in because you know I got all this weight, and just realistically, I got all this weight. I got to get in and get out, and I have to be comfortable getting in and out of different things. So for me to, well, I can only afford this little car. That means your ass can't go because you can't fit in that car. And if you, let's say you get in the car, what if you can't get out the goddamn car? Then what I'm supposed to do? You know, fuck my car. I can't get you out. I can't get use a shoehorn to get you out. I gotta get a goddamn jaws of life to cut my door off to get you out the goddamn car. Why should I suffer because your ass too big to get in my car and I accepted it? But
You,
you know you're big. You know you're a heavy person.
you
You know it.
suffer. I'm with you on that. It's just the way in which it was done.
Hmm.
You know, when you say, "Is it because I'm overweight?" Ma'am, I have an emergency. Pardon me. I have an emergency. That's I would have lied. I would have made up some what my dog head is spinning and I gotta go catch it. I don't know, you know, but I would have treaded very lightly. And you're right, the audacity. You saw the car that was coming for you. You should have hit canceled and upgraded. But some women, she probably been getting around however she gotta get around, for a long time, and her weight probably really never, slowed her down or held her back like that. Like she suck it in, she'll slide on through there, she'll let your tires good, she good. She good.
Actually good. And you're right. And just certain things, it's some common sense. It's just a basic common sense thing. And you have to look at yourself and say, damn, if I'm 7 feet tall, would I go order a Toyota Corolla to get into? No, my leg be all bent up and crunched up in that damn car. It'd be hard for me to get out the goddamn car. So I
Right.
would look and say, hey, I'm tall. I'm 7 feet tall. What should I get in to be comfortable for me? Not what I can get in my cousin's car. Yeah, your cousin probably don't give a fuck about their car. But this guy, this is meal ticket. This is what he does, pay his bills. You get your car, your ass in my car, fuck my shock absorbers up. Now I'm shut down. I gotta get that fixed. And all I did was make a couple of dollars on you, but I gotta pay thousands of dollars to get my goddamn car fixed.
Yeah, listen. That man tore that car up before, and it wasn't even a person of that size in his back. He knew exactly how that car was about to get tore up, and he had the. I give him a pass, but I'm just saying, as we move forward, could we clean it up? I'm. He said, "No, I got bills to pay too, sis. No, I got it. I got it. I can't get no more repairs." That's what he said. He basically said, "No, I can't get no more repairs this month off of Uber." Uber tearing his car up.
Yeah, I mean, so again, it's just like y'all. We're just saying use some common sense. You know, again, you have to look at who you really are. I mean, hey, there are a lot of sexy big women, big men, you know, tall women, tall men, but you have to look at the situation, saying how you have to be comfortable. They got to be comfortable. Again, it may be cheap. You're like, but I'm be crunched up in there, and you got to look at whose car, whose shit you about to get into, and say, hey, could they handle 650 pounds getting in that car? Can I handle? Right, because it's gonna be an uncomfortable ride. Let's be honest. It's gonna be uncomfortable as hell to get in a car like that.
I don't want to be the type of person, but the people I know who are of such size, they just be sitting in chairs that's like regular size, like bro, come on. Like you sometimes you gotta remind them that my stuff I have to protect. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like children. Some people are just careless with just it's like your husband, the boyfriend. Sometimes they just careless with your ish and you like, hold on, grown person who should know better. No, you're not doing that. Not on my couch. You're not eating that. Come sitting
Yes,
there on the white couch with hot Cheetos. What? No, you're not. You gotta remind them. Eat chocolate ice cream cone on your couch. No, you're not. No, you're
Yes,
not. So they're grown, and yes, they know that I shouldn't perhaps be eating this on the couch, but they're gonna do it anyway if you let them.
if
That's how.
you let them. And
Yeah.
you're right because there's people that come to your house. You know, you had those chairs with the little braces on the bottom, and they got a tendency to put their fucking feet on those little braces on the bottom of your chair. You know what? On a like when you sit in the chair, you got those that piece of wood, and they got like it's almost like they try to stick their leg, and it's not for your foot. And somebody a long time ago did that. And I'm like, no, that's chair. That's not to put your fucking foot on. That's stability for the chair. But
So
they do they put the feet on the goddamn thing, and then all of a sudden they break it or fuck it up. Then you're like, get the fuck off my chair. Get the hell out of my house. You broke my shit up. And why should I
you know,
tell you that?
it's regular. It's not even your spouse in this situation. This is a regular, just neighbors stopping by. Keep on. I know what you're talking about too, because your foot keeps falling off of it, and you try to keep putting it back on there. So you're kind of like wearing away that little stabilizer on the chair, and
Yeah,
it's eating at you, and it's like I'm about to snap because you're too grown to be doing that with my chair. What's happening?
exactly. Exactly. And it's like you just like, God damn it. And you like you want to go off. You want to cuss at that
Yeah.
motherfucker outside. I know you know better.
So
But again,
we
people like
all that a little lapse in our judgment. Let's go with that.
that's true. We
And
do. We just have to be aware of that.
I don't think he was super unkind. That's the other part. Like it could have been better, but he wasn't like overly like like mean to her. Like it wasn't like hateful.
Yeah.
That like he the response was like puzzling. Like he was caught in a situation and he knew he had to get out. He couldn't do another office care bill that month. He said no
No.
by any means.
No. I just I no, you couldn't. And I felt for both of them. I felt for her because again, she knows she's a big lady. Um,
Hmm.
and he was like, I was trying to help her, but he didn't want to say, "You're a big ass woman. Why the hell?" So
Hmm.
it's like everybody was in an uncomfortable situation. But to start, if you're like I said, if you're a bigger person, a taller person, whatever, you just can't go to average anything. It's not average because you have to compensate for your size and your height and all that stuff. And you want to be comfortable and you want to get to the place comfortably, wherever you're trying to go to. So it's just a little more common sense. I think we go back to get to the common sense part of that.
Yeah.
And it's just you gotta have a little more common sense when you do things in this world. And speaking of common sense, I'm going to end this with this: true role models. And that was a discussion I had with someone last week before last.
Um,
And I'm going to talk about Snoop Dogg, Nelly, and yeah, your face.
I
Um,
just
and,
but
I know, and I told him, I told this particular person, he was very disappointed, as we all were in Snoop and
no,
Nelly.
y'all were not. I didn't even see it. I didn't see it.
Did
And keep going, keep going. Tell us.
well, the whole discussion was about how Snoop about 5 years ago said that anybody who would sing for 47, I'm gonna blast you. I'm gonna roast your ass for singing and jigabooing and all that stuff. And then simultaneously, the person did another tape with him up there singing for his inauguration using the N word in front of all these white faces and everything. And they were like, he sold out for some money. And he used to be a role model of mine. And I said, this is what I told him.
Nothing
No,
wrong.
I never had an entertainer. A grown ass man said this. I said, a grown entertainers are not role models. I've never grew up with an entertainer. Say, he's my role model because he throws a football, he catches a football, throws a basketball, catch base a basketball, sings or dance, all that stuff does not make one a role model. If you want to be a singer or a dancer, you can say, I want to emulate what he did to be as good as he is, but that doesn't tell that guy, doesn't explain how he is as a person, as a
Mhm.
human being. So For a grown ass man to say I was disappointed in Snoop, I said I'm not disappointed in anybody because anybody can be sold. Anybody can be bought and sold. If you don't have any integrity or any morals, you could be bought and sold. And for everybody has different reasons. Some people say, hey, I go for the bag.
Do we know
I
how much he paid?
don't know how much he got paid. Him, Rick Ross, I don't know how much he got paid. I know Nelly didn't say. And then I know Soldier Boy had some money in his hand, but with his ass, you don't know if he was on drugs or not. He would say, I got all this money and all this stuff. I was
Right,
like, okay.
right.
And it's sad because we need to start to make sure that that your parents and people in your family are your role models and not people that you see on the screen. And it's people you see singing and people that you see doing things every day and think he's got to be a good person. What they do and who they are two differently exclusive things. So to hear people say, I'm disappointed in Snoop, Snoop, always been about the money. But if you tied your kids and you and all that to he disappoint me and he should be a role model, your family should be a role model. People in your family should be people you look up to. Your father who goes work every day. Your mama who busts her ass every day and take care of you. Those are your role models, but not a Michael Jordan. Yeah, he plays great basketball, or Patrick Mahomes or anybody else. Yeah, they're good at what they do, but that's not the whole person. That's just what they do. So again, I'm particularly for everybody, but particularly for black kids, we need to look at outside of basketball playing and all that. We need to look at other people who's really working hard because you're a role model. You're a role model for a lot of young women and young men because they look at you, you run your own business, you do hair. They look up to you, say, Miss T, she's doing her damn thing. So you're a role model because
I, you
why?
know, model. I sew into the kids. They know me, and I expose myself to them. See, if the kids don't know anything, then then they will look up to what they know. So generally, um, like my children's role model, I don't think they would be on the TV screen. Yeah, you kind of get what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
there's been several men directly alongside of the journey of their upbringing that has sown into them, who's allowed the children to actually see who they are, see, what it's taken to get to where they're at. Because for someone to kind of like expose themselves, it's like I have to be humble with you. And with me being humble to a child, so to speak, the child respects me now, and now they start paying attention to me. So let's say I'm teaching a young girl how to shampoo hair, and next thing you know, she done wet up the whole ceiling of the shampoo, the water, how I do. You already
Yep.
you've seen it. I'm I'm
Hmm.
I'm as still as a statue. I'm gonna look at them and I'm gonna let them know that's gonna go in the bloopers book. But you're fine because we've all been there before. So I'm gonna give a little bit of self along the way. Um, but the thing is that I'm present, right? And I'm not distant. I'm not cut off. So it's
Hmm.
hard to look up to people that you don't know nothing about. That's why some young boys don't look up to their fathers because he's distant. He hasn't exposed enough of himself to the young boy, or he hasn't been able to relate with them in order for them to be like, nah, I'm gonna look up to dad. Like no matter what his occupation is, right? Um, you sowing proper things into them, they're gonna be like, nah, that's my role model. Mm-mm. I like the way he think. I like the way he talk. I like the way he processes information. They don't care how financially successful you are. No matter what, they want to outdo you. You know,
Yes. Yes.
never have enough money to please those little people. Like you just can't. Their job is to outdo us. Um,
Yes.
and the role models that they have are the ones they know. So if you were brought up in that whole rap era that we came up in, and perhaps you had distant uncles, perhaps your father was part-time or distant or a little offish, and you see these guys in their journey and they're kind of they're relating to you. You feel like
Hmm.
it that you can relate to them through their songs. You're seeing their journey, you're seeing their bloopers, because let's just be honest, Snoop Dogg has had one heck of a journey as an entertainer. We've seen him mess up several times,
Yep.
and seen him excuse himself from the mess. We've seen him publicly apologize when when he's done wrong. You know, we've seen him
Yep.
come, we've seen him clean it up. Um, so for somebody to feel like they can relate to him because he's exposed so much of himself, or what we think, he's exposed so much of himself, or more than what the man in front of me has given me.
Yep.
So I can definitely, especially Snoop, absolutely. He's been present for so long in his journey. You His journey is just very broad. It's a long run. And so I can understand that. The role models are the people who you get to know. You actually get to know a lot of them. When you say you're going to look up to somebody, it's because you get to see parts of that body.
And that's very true. And that goes back to the responsibility as parents that you don't want your kid to look at somebody because by default, because you're not there.
Mhm.
You should look up to you and look at other people based on, let's say they want to be musically inclined, or they are musically inclined. They look at some people based on what their likes are. But the core should be, you should be able to look at these two people that give every day and work, bust their butt and say, you know what? I commend them. They don't give up. They don't complain. They just they just keep on keeping on. I know things are hard. I know things are rough, but they're there.
Yeah.
They're just this stability is, I had to learn that. I may do something totally different from them, and we both do. We raise our kids to go to the next level, whatever that is. We do to keep things moving, keep the money coming in, keep things flowing, but we want better for them. We want them to live their dreams and fulfill their dreams. And all I ask for all the kids is just be happy, because you don't want to end up in a point where you're going through all this stuff, you're not happy or what you're doing because you want to do something else, and for whatever reason you didn't, and now you kind of wallowing through life. But then you're like, well, I never had nobody to look up to. And I've heard quite a few guys, young men, who said that too. I never had much to look up to. So, and I just keep telling them, like, listen, life's not over. You just, whatever you learn from this point forward, use it to move you to where you're trying to get to. Stop hovering over shit you can't change. You can't change the past. You can learn from the past, put it as a lesson or blessing, store it away, keep moving. But as parents, we got to establish ourselves as a role model for our kids, and
Hmm.
then they can look at everybody else. And I think that was the thing I told this guy. I was like, I never look at anybody for a role model. I said my role models were in my house. They were outside family members. They were uncles. They were, listen to other people like a Malcolm X or Martin Luther King or Medgar Evers or people like that, because they were doing things and making movements in spite of, they knew they could die any day, and they all unfortunately died because they stood for something and they died for something. But you don't want to just be a person just existing just to exist. But you got to at least find people who's gonna pique your interest and make you strive to be better. And that's pretty much what we're saying is, like, be careful with who you look as role models, because what you see on TV probably ain't exactly who they are. It's always hard to find out the hard way that, oh, I thought and I did this and they turn to be this. There's nobody perfect. That's the other thing. There's no perfect people in this world. So everybody, like, I look at them as a perfect example. There's no perfect example of anything.
How you judge me on my journey with my bloopers, but you get to engage in your journey in privacy. Like, that's the one thing about our celebrities, right? We got to give a little bit of grace because like everything going on in their life, the whole journey is on TV. And so it's like you got to walk this rope that is so tight. And if it's not right, they cancel everything you've done for all these years is done. And it's I don't I'm not pro cancel culture, that's just I just can't be that person. But I am grateful that we get to see a lot of these people's journey play out. And some people go down the wrong route
Yeah.
and they're back from it. And some people lead us down a different route that we couldn't see. And they're both for it. And so we don't know what's going on right now.
We don't. We really don't.
But like you said, those role models certainly they're normally older people because that journey is bumpy, and you know people are looking for you to have overcome stuff and not really going through stuff. It's really hard to perceive people when they're literally on their journey. That's why it feels so much better when you hear stories about older people and the whole journey's just cleaned up, and then somebody comes back and they're like, well, by the way, did you know such and such was actually a, like, come on, come on.
That's
So
true.
we gotta give some grace to our celebrities who are still very much so human, still go lay down in a regular old bed, got regular old pillows and got one regular old woman, a man right next to them, who cry just like how we cry, who hurt like how we hurt, who make bad choices, who got live in them bad choices. Like, man, if I listen, if somebody don't like what I say on this podcast right here, you know how loud my phone gonna get, how many chirps, how many notifications? None. You,
Yep.
you see what I'm saying? But that type of man, a lot of our celebrities, when they walk a little bit off that rope, their cell phone, you might as well burn it. That thing going crazy. That
Off
thing
the hook.
is going crazy. And so we can't just pass such harsh judgment on people who we get to see their journey in front of us, where a lot of us get to experience our journey, behind closed doors.
Absolutely. And that's a very true statement because again, we're all human. We're going to be fallible. But again, you have to understand when you do get out there in the public eye that scrutiny you're gonna be scrutinized like you've never been scrutinized before because you kind of asked for it. You
No,
know,
this one, this situation specifically, no, you gotta be scrutinized because you got each your words. You got each your words. We got each your words. Yeah, this is the journey. This is the journey. It's just nice to get to be here for it.
no, no. So and that's what you're saying, y'all. It's like, hey, we gotta do better. You just really have to do better. We have to get back to critical thinking. We got to get back to morals. We got to get back to becoming adults again. Let's America become adults again, and then we could probably have less conversations about these things and more conversations about things that's going to help people grow, help people get to that next level. But we at least got to establish the foundation, and that's what we're doing. We're trying to do for these people. You got anything to add to that, T?
No, I think that's super dope. Yeah, let's start adulting. And it's okay if at some point you feel like adulting is hard, right? Take a break. Don't take a break with your children. Take a break with adulting in the pantry, where you have a glass of wine and you're like, I need a little 4 to 7 minutes. That's your break. That's as much a break as you get from adulting. It's a glass of wine, maybe a little, spliff in the air. That's it. No, you absolutely, because if you don't get back to adulting as we are seeing, somebody's going to help fix the situation for you. And I don't think any of us want any assistance with how we live our day-to-day life and how we run and operate our body.
There you
So
go.
if we can't really get the adulting back, oh, they're gonna adult for us. And what they say is gonna be a little penalty and fine for that too. Hmm.
Oh my God, T, again, you wrapped it up again. Nice little bowl. Uh, and I had nothing else I can say about that, but yeah, y'all, adult. You gotta go back to adulting. It's been good being on the kid side of things, but now kids do grow up and gotta be adults again. So let's be adults again. And with that, we're gonna end this episode of On the Mic with the M.
And see,
Y'all, you've been doing it. Just know what you gotta do. Keep subscribing to the channel. Hit the little button so you can get the latest podcast. Some other things will be coming up real soon. I'll have be talking to you about. And just take care of yourselves out there, y'all. Until next time, peace and blessings.